Welcome to Boosting You, the ultimate wellness platform. And I'm Shirley McLean, and I'm joined once again with my lovely friend, Dr. Sue Peacock. And as the holidays approach, we're surrounded by sparkle and celebrations. But for many people, it can also be an emotionally tricky time as well. So today, me and Sue, we're going to talk about protecting your mental health during the holidays because it's really important how we, care for your mind, your mood when life gets a little bit loud around us.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here as always. Yeah, Shirley, this time of year can be a roller coaster for a lot of people, can't it? Some days we feel full of warmth and gratitude, don't we? And other days, even the smallest thing can kind of tip the balance, can't it? And tip us into overwhelm or sadness. And the key is noticing, isn't it, these shifts early and having the tools to steady ourselves before it kind of rolls itself into one giant snowball.
Yeah. So, Sue, why do emotions seem to run so high in December?
Well, I think it's partly because the pace quickens, doesn't it? There's lots of more noise and there's lots going on, there's less rest. We carry extra expectations, don't we? But also, Christmas is soaked in memories, isn't it? It reminds us of people and places and times gone by.
Mm.
And sometimes that nostalgia can be comforting, but sometimes it can stir grief or longing, can't it? Adding to that sort of financial worries or awkward family dynamics, it's easy for that emotional load to kind of double or triple.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think many of us, recognize that emotional hangover, whether it be after a busy day or, different memories like you've mentioned. My dad actually was in hospital during COVID and he passed away the day after Boxing Day. And sometimes we all did a message for him because we couldn't go in. We all did a message for him by video. But we all had we were dressed up as Christmas, and certainly where every Boxing Day comes, I always think. But now I'm think of it as a nice joyful piece. But it took a bit of time to get to that space, to be honest. So the emotional hangover from all sorts of things can be there, from being busy or whatever it is, when we finally sit down and suddenly sometimes we might have a little, the tears arrive.
And that's normal, isn't it? Our minds process when our bodies finally stop.
Yeah. So what's the first step when people notice that they're struggling?
I think acknowledge it. Don't try and forget about it or ignore it. Just acknowledge it and say to yourself, I'm finding this quite hard right now. You know,
Yeah.
if we avoid or suppress our emotions, it just usually makes them louder, doesn't it? And when we start to be able to name them, we're able to start regulating them. If sadness shows up, let it. If anxiety bubbles,
Mm.
just breathe through it. You don't need to fix feelings instantly. We just need to meet them with kindness.
Yeah. And that's will be such a relief for people to hear that because, often we're told to cheer up or look on the bright side, but it can feel a little bit dismissive, that, can't it?
Yeah, I think so. Exactly that. Positivity ignores, the reality that then becomes pressure, doesn't it? Whereas if we think of acceptance, that brings peace.
Yeah. So how does routine play into mental well-being during the holiday season?
Yeah, I can't emphasize routine enough. I always talk about it with my clients. Routines are really it kind of gives stability, doesn't it, to the nervous system when everything around us changes. We finish work, we have late nights, we have rich food. Our body and mind kind of lose that rhythm, don't they, over the Christmas period.
Mm.
Sometimes it's about, if we can, as best we can, keeping to those basic anchors. We wake up at the same time, we have regular meals, we try to have a realistic bedtime more often than not.
Mm.
It sounds a bit dull when we talk about Christmas, doesn't it? But predictability is quite soothing, isn't it? It reminds our brain that life is still safe and steady underneath all of that sparkle.
Yeah, absolutely. We're automatic beings, aren't we? The mind loves automatic, comfy pair of slippers. We want to wake up and do and think and everything that we did the day before. So it all makes sense. And I always feel calmer when I start my day the same way, even if the rest of the day might be chaos after it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the next part is about guarding energy, isn't it? And choosing where to invest that energy. Sometimes it's about taking a moment to yourself, isn't it? And say something like, does this event or person kind of refill my cup, or does it drain it? And if it drains it, then perhaps think about limiting your exposure, or if you can't, plan extra recovery time in afterwards, because it's not unkind to protect yourself. It's actually essential maintenance for mental health.
Yeah, that can feel tricky though. Saying no to invitations or stepping back from family tension.
Absolutely, it can be. Managing families can be quite difficult all of the year, but it's quite often more focused at this time of year, isn't it? So sometimes it helps to use that gentle honesty. Really, you can say, "I'd love to join you, but I need a quiet evening to rest." And surprisingly, most people respect that far more than we expect them to. And I think sometimes it's about thinking, boundaries aren't barriers. They're kind of bridges built on clarity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand that. Let's talk about physical care. So, how much does that influence our mood?
Massively. The mind and body are talking constantly to each other. There's that connection constantly, constantly, constantly. So when we move, when we hydrate, when we eat regularly, we're stabilizing our brain chemistry.
Mm.
I think it's important to get outside each day for some light, even if it's just 10 minutes,
Mm.
stretch, breathe that cool air. I think perhaps notice our intakes of maybe caffeine, sugar, alcohol, because they can spike and crash mood very quickly. One of my clients once said to me that she thought of her body as the soil that her mind grows in, so she kept it nourished.
Yeah, and I love that. And it's great when we do these talks. I absolutely love it because it's reminders to me again. Because sometimes when we are in a bit more, even like with coffee, I can be one of those, and I have to. The great reminders for me, even though I, express all of this stuff to my clients, the great reminders for ourselves when we are actually doing this all the time, aren't they? So I love that. And again, it's just small habits, isn't it, that just add up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's the importance of it. They are small habits that add up. I think, if you're noticing that you're feeling a bit anxious, or your low mood hits, grounding tools are very good, aren't they, about bringing us back to the present.
Mm.
One easy exercise I often talk about, 5 4 3 2 1 method. The notice the 5 things you can see, the 4 things you can touch, the 3 things you can hear, the 1 thing you can smell. Sorry, the 2 things you can smell, and the 1 thing you can taste or imagine tasting. And I quite often say, think lemons if you can't think of anything else.
Mm.
And those kind of activities kind of pull us out of our racing thoughts, don't they, into the here and now.
Yeah, and it's such a good one that because you can do it even quietly at the dinner table if the conversation got tense or something like that, and no one would know that you were doing it.
Exactly. And pairing that with sort of slow breathing, inhale through your nose for 4, exhale
Mm.
for 6. And as we said before, that longer out breath activates the calm through the vagus nerve, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And you often talk about compassion as medicine, don't you? So how does that fit here?
Well, I think, connection is and compassion is one of the strongest predictors of mental health, isn't it? Reach out if you need support, a friend, a helpline. Don't wait until you're in crisis.
Mm.
um, Practice small amounts of kindness, even if you're struggling. Helping someone else will release oxytocin, that hormone of trust and bonding. So that's a win-win.
Yeah, so giving is healing for both sides.
Absolutely, and it reminds us that we're part of something bigger, doesn't it?
So what about after the big day? Most people feel a sudden dip when the celebrations end, don't they?
Yeah, that sort of post-Christmas crash is quite common, isn't it? I don't know about you, but my waiting list goes up considerably in January. And you know, I think it's because, you know, adrenaline falls, doesn't it? Exhaustion lands. So I think it's about taking time out to almost plan gentle recovery days. You know, tidy up slowly. You know, watch a comforting film, take a walk. You know, give yourself that space to decompress before you dive back into work or New Year's resolutions even.
Yeah. So could you share a few clear actions people can take this week?
Okay, so I would suggest keep a rhythm, you know, constant sleep, meals, hydration. Schedule calm, so 10 minutes daily for quiet breathing, or just listen to some nice music. Notice triggers, so perhaps limit the news depending what's happening, or social media if that raises your anxiety.
Mm.
Connect, so speak to at least one supportive person every day if you can. If you're struggling, I'd say seek help early. If that sadness or anxiety persists, then do reach out to a professional.
Yeah. And all of that you've given, that little list is such a practical list, isn't it? You know, and I'd like you within that list, I like the fact that you emphasize again small daily care rather than big overhauls as well.
Yeah, I think mental health is maintained, isn't it, by gentle consistency, not sort of dramatic fixes.
Yeah.
So, if it's okay, should we take a short mindful pause together?
Oh, please, let's. Yeah, let's do it.
So, wherever you are, take a nice slow breath in and let it go. Noticing your shoulders softening, your chest rise and fall. Remind yourself, right now, I'm safe enough. Right now, I'm doing my best. And carry that phrase with you throughout the holidays.
As I come back, that's just so beautiful. So, and it's such a calm reset. So, if we had to sum up today in one line,
Okay, I'd say you don't have to be festive to be okay. The best gift, joking about the best gift you can really give yourself is gentle honesty and rest, isn't it? Protecting your mental health isn't selfish, it's how you stay present for life and for those people that you love.
yeah, I love that. Thank you so. And thank you to everyone that's listening. Um, However this season might look for you, may it hold moments of peace and real connection. And just take one small step for your well-being today. So maybe that might be a walk, it might be the breath, or a gentle boundary. And we'll see you next time when we explore coping with the winter blues and seasonal effect changes. So bye for now. Until next time.
Until next time, bye from me.